That's right!
Welcome to The Know. I'm Ashley Jenkins.
I'm Steve Wright.
Of Stevivor, who's visiting us in the office for the day.
G'day.
And at long last...
That was as Australian as I get.
That was bad.
That's honestly the best I
This
can
is
do.
your one warning.
Alright.
Okay.
It's truth.
At long last, we've got our first look at Xbox's new project, Scorpio. Microsoft invited the hardware experts at Digital Foundry to their headquarters to dig into their new machine, and the early impressions of what the hardware can do are very, very good. If you're a hardware person, Microsoft gave you a lot to chew on today, but also, it's kind of disappointing as a reveal because they didn't talk about much else. They didn't talk about name, date, price, what it's gonna look like, and perhaps most importantly, what games the system might have or what it's gonna do with them uniquely.
Still, the Digital Foundry folks were really impressed with what they saw. We'll dig into the specifics in a minute, but overall they said the machine's performance was remarkable and that it lives up to the hype of being the most powerful console on the market.
As Richard Ledbetter from Digital Foundry put it, Microsoft has a point to prove. It's not just about performance, it's about pushing the quality of console design to a new level in all areas.
He added that the Scorpio is without a doubt the world's most powerful console, delivering the best versions of the games. He added that the system's GPU is a beast, and it stomps the PlayStation 4 Pro in terms of power.
Now, we should note that this is just a tech reveal of the console. There's still a lot we won't know until probably E3 or maybe just before E3. And besides a Forza tech engine demo, we haven't seen any other games actually running on the system yet.
All that aside, we've got tons of info about the system specs and the tech underneath it. Microsoft clearly has a ton of faith in the hardware, considering they let hardware experts dig into it rather than keeping that message in-house, where they could control it 100% by their PR folks.
Yeah, and I have to respect that. I'm a little bit disappointed about the things that we didn't get because it seems like it's not a reveal in that case, but it is pretty awesome that they gave that to a hardware expert rather than carefully crafting and controlling that message themselves. It says a lot about their faith. It also seems like this could be a move by Microsoft to let the machine itself take center stage for now and then talk more about games at E3. After all, games have been kind of an Achilles heel for the Xbox One this console generation, especially exclusives, and if the Scorpio is going to sell, it's gonna need some games. Phil Spencer has hinted a few times that he wants games to be the focus of E3 here and there, and that would definitely accomplish that if they just get all this out of the way and then bam, all games.
Anyway, let's dig into the specs of the machine beyond the headline 6 teraflops we've had before.
Teraflops, so many flops!
Lots of teraflops. That's like most things over my head. To give a quick rundown though, the Scorpio CPU has 8 custom x86 cores clocked at 2.3 gigahertz. It has 12 gig of super fast GDDR5 memory, and a 1 terabyte hard drive, and a 4K UHD Blu-ray optical drive. And its graphics processor has 40 customized compute units clocked at 1,172 megahertz, which hits the 6 teraflop performance figure. By comparison, the PS4 Pro, currently the most powerful console out right now, can only hit 4 teraflops. That easily means the Scorpio outpaces it.
What interests me about that is if you've seen a game like Horizon Zero Dawn running on the PS4 Pro, it looks absolutely insanely stunning. It's by far the best looking game that exists right now, I would say. But Digital Foundry says Scorpio's 6 teraflops, which is going to be, half beyond that again, may go even farther than the equivalent PC's 6 teraflop GPU. They think it could even rival the GTX 1070 in terms of 4K output. Digital Foundry said we can expect a gulf. That's a quote, gulf between multi-platform releases on Scorpio and Pro in terms of quality. So this thing could look nice, I think is what they're saying.
Could, we don't know.
Yeah, maybe not. It might just be like, whatever.
Ledbetter wrote, Microsoft has defied current-gen constraints and redefined the way consoles are built in order to push clock speeds up closer to desktop GPU counterparts. A brilliant achievement.
As for how it compares to other consoles of this generation, Digital Foundry provided a handy chart comparing the Scorpio to the Xbox One and the PS4 Pro. Its CPU is about 9% faster than PS4 Pro, 30% faster than Xbox One. Meanwhile, its GPU is a whopping 4.6 times more powerful than the Xbox One's, and like we said, it hits 6 teraflops compared to the PS4 Pro's 4 teraflops.
But it's the GPU that was the biggest surprise to Digital Foundry because it was more powerful than they expected. The Scorpio's GPU was clocked at 1,172 MHz, a big increase over the Xbox One's 853 MHz and the PlayStation 4 Pro's 911 MHz.
The Scorpio also has an internal power supply, and Digital Foundry described the cooling system as featuring vapor chamber cooling, similar to the setup seen on high-end GTX 1080 and GTX 1080 Ti PC graphics cards. So they're trying to push hard on this one.
It's a lot of numbers, but how did it actually handle a game? That's where the Scorpio shined. It apparently didn't break a sweat when cranked to PC-like ultra settings, and still had room to spare. The machine had the Forza tech demo running at 4K and 60 frames per second, with plenty of room to spare. Its GPU usage barely hit 66%, meaning it was only running at 2/3 capacity. This was running 4K assets, which are more larger and more taxing.
Yeah, so and it's interesting to know, it's not, let's make a note that that's not a game running in the wild, it's a tech demo in an engine, but it's still very impressive. It's very, very cool. But how is the Scorpio gonna handle Xbox's existing library of games? Because let's be honest, that's what we will be playing.
They'll get love.
Okay.
They'll get love too. Existing games should run smoother, look better, and load faster. And unlike the PlayStation 4 Pro's boost mode, Scorpio theoretically allows for the full power of the new console to be deployed on older games. By comparison, the PlayStation 4 Pro basically emulates the PS4 and then doesn't make much use of its additional power when playing those non-supported games. Microsoft has put a lot of work into Scorpio to make sure it gives the old games huge performance boosts.
So that means smoother performance, no screen tearing. Now, it does not mean 30 FPS games are suddenly gonna jump to 60 FPS if they're already locked. It just means the gamers will hit what they were designed to do and the console won't have any trouble doing it. If the game developers want to make updates that will unlock 60 FPS, then sure, they can. But by default, just so you know, it's not gonna unlock every game that you have.
Scorpio will also hit max resolution on games that support dynamic resolution, like Doom, Halo 5, Gears of War 4, The Witcher 3, Battlefield 1, Call of Duty Infinite Warfare,
Ooh, the one that everyone loves. Yes.
and The Division. Those games will scale to the max resolution possible set by developers natively. Even 360 games will get better texture filtering.
As Digital Foundry said, it's worth pointing out that none of this has been easy for Microsoft to engineer. There's an impressive commitment to making as many Xbox games as possible run better than you've ever seen them before on Scorpio.
As for the price, we don't know yet.
I mean, they're comparing it, the performance overall to like the GTX 1070 line. If that gives you any indication, it's not going to be cheap.
Especially in Australia.
No, you guys are boned.
I'm
Sorry.
gonna sell my kidney.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kevin Gamble, Group Program Director of the Xbox Core platform, said, "At the end of the day, we are still a consumer product. We want to hit those price points where customers want to purchase this. It's about balancing the two." Eurogamer guessed that it's going to be around $499, similar to the Xbox One at launch.
Okay, so I mean it could be a lot worse. What are our takeaway thoughts though? Well, interesting that they only showed one game, not even an actual game, just the Forza engine. However, bringing in Digital Foundry shows a ton of confidence in the machine and its design. They are kind of considered like they're the benchmark experts when it comes to hardware, and Microsoft knew they could do this without any spin, and the machine would speak for itself in terms of performance. That gamble's pretty well paid off because Digital Foundry loved it. They said a lot of nice things, and those nice things are now being said by someone else, not by Microsoft saying all those things about themselves. So that's all good stuff.
No humble bragging. Yet.
Right.
That said, there's still a lot of questions. There's no assembled box that we've even seen, no price, no new games. This means Microsoft still has plenty of work to do if they want to sell those Scorpios.
Yeah, and if the price is as high as Digital Foundry expects, and some would say that $499 could jump as high as $599, I'd be one of those people. I would expect to pay $600 for something at a level that they're marketing. I mean, PS3 launched at $600. It was very powerful at the time, so it's not like it's unprecedented. This box might not do the business Sony's seen with the PlayStation 4 Pro. I mean, it is a premium console for premium users. If they're gonna hit that $500 point, that's probably why they're gonna make that goal. It still makes them more expensive than PS4 Pro no matter what.
Oh yeah. Microsoft's insistence on backwards compatibility and the massive amount of work they put into it speak less to the idea of a mid-generation refresh and more to a soft launch of a new generation, or rather a way of doing consoles. There's been a lot of speculation that Microsoft plans on doing away with generations altogether, and Scorpio seems to be the blueprint for what that might look like going forward.
Yeah, Digital Foundry felt like this is an example of Microsoft getting back to its roots. They said, "It reminds us of the original Xbox and Xbox 360. This is Microsoft throwing its considerable engineering resources at making the best possible games playing machine, Xbox is back.
While this might be the most advanced console ever, it's hard to see a scenario where Microsoft can catch up to the PS4 this generation.
In terms of sales, look, this could be a really, really, really amazing console, and it's not going to catch up in terms of sales. PS4 is so far ahead.
Even when it's a premium console.
Yes.
They might have too many exclusive and too big of an install base at this point compared to Microsoft, that being Sony. People don't buy consoles necessarily for superior hardware.
Well, you know, they might, but also the games.
Look at the Switch. They buy for games and to play with their friends. And at the end of the day, Microsoft still has to figure out how Scorpio will answer those questions.
Right, so what do you guys think of the Scorpio reveal? You gonna pick it up? Do you need to know things like what to call it? Let us know in the comments.
And for all your Scorpio news, including when we figure out what the damn name is, be sure to like this video and subscribe to The Know.
The speculation I've heard is that it's gonna be called Xbox One X, which, I mean, I think is stupid, and I wish they would just like maybe go with the 360 thing and call it like an Elite. I get why X would be part of their, like it would fit in their ecosystem, but then it just looks like someone tried to get Bone 1 as a gamer tag, couldn't, and put an X on either side.